Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. You're listening to another video for League of Legends, and Happy New Year 2013. This game is one that was taken from games that we did last night on New Year's Day. In this game we're going to be focusing on top lane, and we're going to be focusing on the champion of Riven as being played by Feroza in this game. Also on blue side of the map, we also have myself playing as Lulu, Varusnox playing as Ezreal, Charlton playing as Hecarim, and Emilio421 playing as Fiddlesticks. Then on the red side of the map, we have Anvil of Doom playing as Taric, Althacor playing as Nocturne and Jungling, Dave B327 playing as Vi, Fallen Asylum playing as Karthus, and Gamer Sensei playing as Graves. Fallen Asylum, by the way, is running the Revive Teleport combo on Karthus, so we'll see some examples of that as we go through this game. Going to go ahead and focus mostly on the top lane matchup in this video. I think that will be useful for a change of pace. This turned into a pretty good Riven game overall on the part of Feroza, and it'll give us a chance to look at that. We're also going to get to see some interesting stuff from Fallen Asylum's Revive Teleport Karthus, and also get a chance to talk a little bit about Vi as a champion, who is, as I record this video, the newest champion in League of Legends. I haven't had a chance to see her played too much because I've been away over the holidays, but she does seem to be fairly popular. She's been played a fair amount in top lane and also in jungle, largely due to the fact that her ultimate is pretty good overall. Assault and Battery allows her to focus on one champion, charge towards them, knock them up in the air, and Vi's immune to all crowd control while she charges towards them. So that ult is kind of what makes her useful. And her Q, the thing that charges up, Vault Breaker, also allows her to dash through. I believe that she can dash through certain walls with this, and she also can use it to escape ganks in top lane. It is on a rather long cooldown. Anyway though, so we're going to be focusing on top lane. Feroza does have the Season 2 Championship Riven skin, so that's pretty neat. Let's go ahead and zoom in and get a look at that, as we have this intense battle with the wolf camp here. Anyway, so there you go. One thing about this skin is there is a little number 2 on the back of it. I don't know if you can see. There's a small little number 2 for Season 2. As a result of this. Anyway, so Riven, just talking about Riven as a champion, some of her strengths are she's pretty strong in lane. She doesn't scale quite as well in the late game as some of the other champions, but she is quite good in lane. She has the advantage of being monolith. She is only cooldown based, nothing else. Charlton got very low doing that blue buff. Anyway, as I said, she is only cooldown based. She doesn't have to worry about mana, so that gives her an advantage in lane. And if she gets ahead, she's another one of those top lane champs that can do a really good job of bullying people in lane. So she has a bit of a unique skill set. Most people are probably familiar with Riven by now. I will try to go through and highlight some of her different abilities. We'll go ahead. The passive, Riven's abilities: charge her blade, cause her basic attacks to deal bonus physical damage. Can be charged up 3 times, expends 1 charge per attack. So you want to go ahead and alternate using her abilities with auto-attacking to play Riven correctly. That will give you the ability to make use of her passive. And again, there is the use of Riven's Q. You see it right there. Her Broken Wings. Basically, Riven attacks 3 times. First time dashes forward, second time dashes forward, third time leaps into the air and knocks enemies away. There's a slight knockback effect on it. So it looks like Feroza has gone ahead and skilled this first. I'm not familiar with what people max first on Riven off the top of my head. I'll have to watch this lane and see. Dave B is actually ahead in lane right now. Dave B actually was able to push the minion wave up and was able to hit level 2 first. That's why he was able to come out on top there. Anyway, in mid lane, Charlton went and ganked the Karthus player, Fallen Asylum, who, of course, having no flash, didn't really have any escapes. So that what was going on there. We should have probably paid a little bit more close attention to what was going on up there. So anyway, as of right now, Vi is ahead in this lane, although Feroza is going to be able to farm safely at tower, and he's actually going to get ahead in minion kills as a result of that. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of the Boots 3-pot start. I think that there could be better starts. I actually kind of like Vi's start with the cloth armor. I also like most top laners starting with a ward right now. A lot of top laners will start with the Crystalline Flask, get a bunch of health pots and a ward to start. I kind of like that. You wouldn't want to start that on Riven because she doesn't use mana, and that aspect of the flask would just be wasted. But needless to say, the Boots 3-pot's not my favorite start. Anyway, we do have a gank coming in. There's a nice knockback from Hecarim. I'm going to force the flash out from Dave B's Vi, And is he going to be able to get out of here? Feroza's dashing forward. There's the stun. And I think they're going to have enough damage to finish this off. Yes. Yes, they do. So with the Ignite and that stun, able to get it. The stun is on Riven's W, her Key Burst. This is her stun. Let's see, what is it? Deals physical damage and stuns nearby enemies for a short time. It's a very short stun duration, not even 1 second. I believe that the stun does not go up in duration with more points in the skill. I believe it stays at 3/4 of a second. But needless to say, that does give her another ability on her kit. And then while we're going here ahead and looking at skills here, her E, this is the one that gives her shield, dashes forward, becomes shielded, blocks incoming damage for 2.5 seconds. And this does scale off of AD, so building more attack damage increases her shield. So oftentimes you'll see Riven players just stacking a lot of damage. Looks like Feroza is going for an early Brutalizer. That's a good choice. Brutalizer into Black Cleaver along with Bloodthirster. The AD scaling will give you both more damage, and it will also give you a little bit more survivability because it'll give you more into your shield on your E as well. So anyway, Q, looks like Feroza is maxing Q first right now. And again, if Feroza uses the shield at the right time, that will make it a lot easier to trade with Vi up here in the top lane. There were some retreat pings coming up, but I'm not quite sure why that was. Let's take a look at Vi as well while we're up here in the top lane. Vi's passive here, Blast Shield, activated abilities, grant the shield, equal to 10% of your max health. So Vi also has a shield right there. There's the dash in from Riven, hitting the stun, and then using the shield to block some of that damage. Also, on Vi, let's see, we'll highlight the skills. Again, Vault Breaker, the Q, this is her charge up, charges up a punch that dashes forward. I'll check out the bottom lane right now. We do have a fight going on. I'll come back to that in a minute right now. Varus, Nox, and I were able to score a kill onto their Graves player and then extract ourselves from this fight. In comes Hecarim. Let's see if Charlton can pick this up. It needs to get the knockback, but no, a good stun from Anvil of Doom. And uh-oh, here comes the Karthus ult. And that's going to be a double kill for Karthus. We probably should have backed. I think we could have gotten back to base in time to not die to that Karthus ult. I also made a mistake there. I thought I could save Varus Nox. I put the shield on him with Lulu. If I had shielded myself, I would have survived. And it would have only been 1 kill and not 2. So a little bit of a misplay there. Should have shielded myself as Lulu instead of shielding Varus Nox. And of course, as level 4, I don't have Lulu ult up as yet. Alright, anyway, so looking back at this top lane, again, abilities on Vi, as I said, her Q is charges up, allows you to dash forward. It is a skill shot, you're not guaranteed to hit the target. There's the dash in from Riven, but doesn't hit on the stun. Anyway, so this is both your escape and your initiation tool on Vi. Her ultimate, of course, can also initiate as well. Looks like Vi is maxing her W first, her denting blows. Every third attack on the target deals additional damage, deals percentage-based health as damage. Anyway, we do have a fight going on over here. We'll keep an eye on this. By the way, so Karthus is dead. Let's see, is Karthus going to use his revive right here? Yes, Karthus is going to use his revive, and he's going to teleport in here right behind the fight. So there is revive teleport coming into effect once again. It's a nice wall of pain, and the layways are pretty well placed, but it looks like we're going to be able to make our way out of there. So unfortunately, that use of revive and teleport didn't really get their team anything in terms of that fight. We were able to get, I think, 1 kill out of that. I think we got 1 kill, and then when Karthus survived, we weren't able to get anything. Anyway, back to Vi's skill set. Again, the denting blows. Every third attack deals bonus damage, percentage of the person's maximum health as physical damage. Also reduces armor and grants an attack speed buff. And Dave B is maxing this first. I don't know if that's the right decision or not. Down in bottom lane, Graves got caught under the tower, took a tower shot, and ended up getting killed. The E, Excessive Force, this adds another extra damage on the next auto attack. And she can hold up to 2 of these at once. Uh-oh, Dave B goes as in face checks, gets stunned. There is the dash in from Riven, and the ultimate, will it be enough to finish this off? Does get the kill, but is that tower shot going to finish it off? Yes. Oh, misplayed by Feroza. He could have flashed out of that last tower shot, but he waited until the shot was already in the air to try to flash it. So that was a pretty big misplay there. Burn flash. He could have escaped that if he had timed his flash a little bit better, but was not able to do so. Anyway, Riven should mention her ultimate as well. Highlighted here, Blade of the Exile. Grants her extra attack damage, increased range, and she can use Wind Slash once. That fires a shockwave. And you have 15 seconds to use this. You don't have to fire it right away. It's really Riven's only ranged attack. That's one of her drawbacks, is she's pretty much melee only. Now, on the other side, for Vi, we'll go ahead and highlight her ultimate while we're here as well, Assault and Battery. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, targets an enemy champ, chase them down, knock them up for 1.25 seconds, deals physical damage, scales off AD, immune to crowd control while charging towards them, cannot be disabled, just like the Olaf Ragnarok ult, and also will knock up enemies in the way. So the ideal thing is to target a squishy champ in the back line while you're going after this. Anyway, down here, we get a Hecarim gank, and we were able to pick off Taric. It was actually kind of a nice play by Anvil of Doom. Could see that they weren't going to get out of there, so he just gave himself up so that their AD could escape from that particular little engagement. So far in top lane, Riven is definitely ahead 2-1 against 1-2, but it's not even so much the kills at this point as it is the minion kills, 51 to 25. That is a big difference, and that equates out to about 700 gold lead, so that makes a pretty big difference in there. As I said, Riven's a bit of a lane bully. You don't want Riven to get ahead. Vi is somewhat similar idea. If Vi gets ahead, she will also tend to dominate the opponent. That's the case for a lot of top laners. Right there, Feroza went in with his stun, his key burst, wasn't able to hit on the stun. We've got another fight going on over here. Hecarim's popped his ghost. Let's see if he can get out of here. Fiddlesticks, I'm not entirely sure what Fiddlesticks is doing, but he's put himself in a bad position right here. Karthus Q is coming in. The Hecarim ult is maybe not the best that I've seen. Now Hecarim going back in. Ezreal ult will hit on Karthus, but this is not good. And a nicely placed wall, nicely placed lay waste from Fallen Asylum. That takes him up to 5-2 overall. Plus he's stacking up his Tear of the Goddess to go along with that. So Karthus, looks like Karthus will be a problem for the blue team, and we were definitely worried about Karthus while we were playing this game down there in bottom lane. The good news is we are winning in top lane right now, and Feroza is going ahead and zoning Riven off the minion line. So there is the charge in with Broken Wings. Did not manage to get the stun, it looks like, off onto Dave B. So Dave B is not in a good place up here. He's getting zoned pretty hardcore, and he's behind, what, about 40 minion kills? We'll see if they're going to be able to turn this into a Nocturne kill. And right there, there's the dash in from Vi, looking to initiate. And the fight's going on. Nocturne needs to get in here sooner. Waited a little too long to ult, I think. There is the wind, what is it, the Wind Slash? The Wind Slash is going to pick up the kill for Feroza. And I think Althacor just waited too long to come in there. Vi was nearly dead by the time that Nocturne went in, so looks like Riven's going to be able to pick up that kill as well and just slip out of there with no trouble whatsoever. Another thing that I'm not sure I necessarily agree with is rushing the phage anymore. Going for the early phage was a really strong item in Season 2. It is less so in Season 3. The item has been nerfed and it's more expensive. So I'm not sure that that should necessarily be the first item. Perhaps getting, particularly once Dave B started to fall behind as Vi, getting more armor probably would have been helpful. One thing that you can do to defend yourself against Riven is just to stack armor, because she is all melee, or not all melee, well, she is all melee, but she's all physical damage is what I'm looking for. If you stack armor, you will do a lot better against Riven. There is the Broken Wing in. Let's see, are they going to be able to turn this around? There's the Fear Prac. Now Vi is charging in. Does Vi have her ult up? No, it is on cooldown, was used in the last fight. So Feroza is going to manage to dash out of that one, yet again. Has now picked up the Vampiric Scepter as well, so has the extra attack damage and lifesteal, and is continuing to snowball further ahead in this lane. Now is over 1,000 gold ahead, about 1,200 gold ahead, and Vi is clearly losing out on these trades, even with a nice... W there. Now right here, we have a kill mid. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Graves gets very low. Hecarim though deciding to go in on this and really goes too deep in this particular fight right here. There is the charge in with the Hecarim ult. This is not a very good dive, but we are going to be able to go 1-for-1, and we were pretty happy to go 1-for-1 here. Hecarim went a little too deep right there. Fallen Asylum roamed down from mid and was able to... didn't get the kill. Who actually got the kill there? Actually, the kill was taken by Taric there, according to this little numbers down there. So Fiddlesticks needs to push mid and push mid really hard, but unfortunately Fiddles does not push very well at all as a mid laner, and Karthus is actually going to be able to get back to mid lane in plenty of time to prevent this tower from taking much in the way of damage. So that was a nice roam from Karthus. Karthus is ahead He actually is ahead in farm in terms of minion kills and also has the 5 kills. Fallen Asylum has also picked up the Home Guard boots, and that's to go along with his zombie cart, this revive teleport strat. He can die, instantly revive, teleport, and then use the Home Guard boots to run super fast. And in fact, revive gives you a movement speed boost after you die as well, if you have the mastery point for it. So again, we're continuing to focus on the top lane. That was Dave B using his E, his excessive force. He is maxed W first, the denting blows, and looks like he's maxing E second, the thing that charges up. Vi stores one of those charges, how many seconds? 12.5 seconds. I believe she stores the punches faster with more points in the skill. Not 100% sure, but I think that's how it works. Froze is ahead now 2 levels, and actually has a second point in his ultimate, so that's bad news. Again, Vi has been getting zoned pretty badly off the minion line. Anytime that it pushes out, Riven goes into a zone. Meanwhile, down here in bottom lane, we see a gank coming in. And are they going to be able to get the double kill down here in bottom lane? Karthus ult comes out. Varus Nox is going to flash. However, Nocturne's going to flash out. And nope, Nocturne is not going to fall. However, here comes Hecarim on cleanup duty. He's going to pick up 1 kill. Can he manage to get Tarek to get a second kill? Runs the opposite way. So no, not able to get that. That is a 2-for-1 in favor of red team with a double kill in bottom lane. There's a fight going on in top though, and again Vi is just being zoned off this minion line. Now Riven has lifesteal as well thanks to the Vamp Scepter. Note the plus 22 health on each auto attack. And so there's really not a lot Vi can do. Vi needs help from the jungler, or Vi just needs to walk away from this lane and go farm in the jungle. In top lane, what you can do is, if you're getting zoned, you can go and farm the double columns if you're on red side, and just go do that, because there's no point to just standing here. Either, go farm something in the jungle, or call for a jungle gank from your jungler, and perhaps that's what they're doing. Nocturne does seem to be on his way, but don't just stand back here getting zoned. If worse comes to worse, just go back and heal. Unfortunately, there's not a lot Riven can do. There's the flash in. There is the stun. Not sure this is going to work out all that well. Does get the kill. Now needs to flash out. Nope. So 1-for-1. And that's really not a good trade. Right now, with Vi being so far behind, trading 1-for-1 is good for Vi. Riven would have done better just to keep on zoning than to dive under the tower like that. As I said, that was not a very good trade. It does still mean that Vi's going to lose more farm because this wave is pushing out, but Vi was already losing farm. Vi was already getting zoned. So really that was not a particularly good trade. It would have been better just to keep zoning and to continue the situation that Riven was already in. So anyway, enough of that. But needless to say, when you're really crushing the lane like that, exchanging 1-for-1 is something that you want to avoid. Anyway, their team is coming down. It looks like another 4-man gank is planned for bottom lane. So we are going to need to do something about that. We actually do see Nocturne coming in. We need to try to escape. Fortunately, we're able to dodge that wall. Arcane Shift from Ezreal, Whimsy on Lulu for the movement speed bonus, and we are going to disengage from that. So that was a 4-man gank dodged very nicely. Now, one of the problems in this game was Karthus kept roaming to other lanes. Karthus has gone bottom like 3 or 4 times in this game, and that's one thing. It's okay if your mid laner stays mid, if your mid laner is able to get advantages by doing so. For instance, if Fiddlesticks can get ahead in farm, or if Fiddlesticks can take advantage of Karthus leaving lane to push over this tower, then that can be a good trade. However, the problem is Karthus is ahead in farm. He's at almost 50 minion kills ahead, and Fiddlesticks has gotten no damage on this tower. So if you're going to sit mid and not respond to the roam, you need to do one of those two things. You either need to get ahead in farm, or you need to take the mid tower, and Fiddlesticks wasn't able to do either of them. So Karthus has had a lot of presence in this game thus far, whereas Fiddlesticks really hasn't had any. And that has hurt us quite a bit. Fortunately, though, on blue team side, in this game, we were winning in top lane. Riven is quite a long way ahead of Vi. And in bottom lane, we were also quite a long way ahead. Ezreal has 4 kills and is about 35 minion kills ahead against the 0-3 on Graves. A finished Bloodthirster on Ezreal against a Brutalizer and a Vamp Scepter on Graves. So again, pretty far ahead down in that bottom lane as well. Anyway, we'll keep the focus on top lane. Riven is baiting a fight right here, but it looks like Vi didn't go for it. And again, Riven is now 3 levels ahead of Vi, has a finished Bloodthirster and a Brutalizer, so it has the Bloodthirster about halfway stacked up. That's a lot of attack damage and lifesteal, and then the armor penetration as well. Meanwhile, Vi does have the well, we'll get back to that in a minute. Here comes the fight in bottom lane. Karthus ult plus Nocturne, a nice combination. Right there, we're going to see Nocturne, or Hecarim go in, and that's not going to work too well. Here comes the teleport in from Karthus, so we're just going to need to disengage from that. That was very well played by their team. At least we did get the Karthus ult down. Meanwhile, there was a gank in top, so let's go back and watch that. We have Fiddlesticks roaming top, and looks like he's going to get set up for the Fiddlesticks ult. Here it comes over the wall. Nice placement of the Fiddlesticks ult right there. Fiddles is going to tank the tower while being drained, and then a nice Zanya as well. Fiddlesticks, he actually did not need to flash there, but he would have died otherwise because he was tanking tower. A very nice use of Zanya's. He did not need to flash though. When you use Zanya's Hourglass, it will drop tower aggression. However, because we have two people up in top, that is going to clear their team to go ahead and take dragon. So that's an exchange that favors their team overall. They got a kill in bottom and dragon, whereas we only got a kill in top. Now we can help make up for that if we're able to take top tower, but it looks like Feroza is just going to back off and let the tower eat more minions, which is a fine way to play this as well. Our team has a slight edge. We're about 1.5k, somewhere between 1.5k and 2k gold ahead right now, but it's a pretty good game overall. In particular on red team, Karthus is very, very scary right now. Fallen Asylum's Karthus, he might not have any escapes, he doesn't have flash, but he does already have a death cap, and he's been charging up that tier. He's nearly fully stacked up his tier by the 20-minute mark, so he's going to be very dangerous later on in this particular game. Anyway, we're going to try to lean on bottom lane and try to lean on top lane in order to come out on top in this particular match. So hopefully we can have those two lanes and come out on top. Unfortunately, though, we are losing in mid. If you check the gold total, Karthus has 8,000 gold and Fiddlesticks has 5,800. So Karthus about 2,200 gold ahead. And with as well as Karthus scales into the later game, that's not the best sign for us. Anyway, note now that with Feroza having all this extra attack damage, this bonus attack damage, he gets quite a big shield when he uses his E. He actually gets a damage shield of what, a little over 300, about 330 or so, and that helps a lot in terms of winning trades. If Feroza uses his shield effectively, he will be able to block most of the damage from Vi. Of course, Vi also gets a shield, but I don't think it's anywhere near as much. Shield strength 175. Okay, it's about half as much because Vi is a little bit behind. Now, for Dave B finally has picked up the chain vest. I do think that Dave B should have gotten this sooner, because that extra 40 armor really helps out in lane. Now up to 137 armor. Now we'll have a much better time of surviving against Riven. Anyway, looks like we do have a fight going on in bottom lane. There's the slow from Lulu. Here comes the Fiddlesticks ult, and it's a very nicely placed Fiddlesticks ult. We're going to get a ton of damage on the Tarak. We weren't quite able to finish off either Graves or Nocturne, but in the right place at the right time, right as Nocturne was trying to gank that lane, Fiddlesticks comes down. And we're going to be able to push on this tower. Now, one little thing, Hecarim probably should have covered mid. Once he saw Fiddlesticks roaming to bot, needed to go and cover mid lane to prevent it from being pushed. I mean, we're not going to lose mid tower, but that would have been the better tactical place for the jungler to go. If you see the mid lane roam to top or bottom, as a jungler, it's your job to come over and cover that lane. Anyway, right now, Karthus is coming into top lane looking to gank, but it is spotted by the ward, and it looks like Feroza is going to be okay. He still has his dash up. No, he doesn't. He actually used his dash, but he is going to be just fine, and he's going to be able to escape out of there. So once again, wards are your friends. Wards will keep you alive, and this will let Fiddlesticks push mid a little bit, get a little bit of extra farm there. He is 70 minion kills behind, but he'll be able to get a little bit of damage on this tower. Let's see, the enemy team pinging this. We'll see if Nocturne decides to come over. Nocturne does have his ult up. Nope, not going to matter. Look at that fear, by the way. The fear duration so long. Look at the drain coming in. However, in comes Nocturne, and let's see, Fiddles is going to get the kill onto Karthus. I don't think he's going to survive this ult. Can he Zanya's it? No, going to get shut down. He could have used his Zanya's there. I guess he didn't think of it, but could have used Zanya's Hourglass to dodge the Karthus ult. You can do that, believe me, as a Karthus player. I've seen that happen, much to my chagrin in the past. So I don't know if he would have survived Nocturne after Zanyaing, but should have been able to Zanya the Karthus ult. That would have been very, very slick. Still, nonetheless, a 1-for-1 trade, not that bad, and we also do have the Nocturne ult down as a result. Down here, there's a little bit of action just poking back and forth. That Tark stun's not going to do too much. Right here, we bait out an Ignite from Gamer Sensei. That is not a particularly good use of Ignites. No real kill pressure on Ezreal right there, so a bit of a wasted summoner. And in particular, note one other thing. Note that Graves has no mana. He has 48 mana, so he can't do anything right now. So we're really, when Graves has no mana, we're not under any kill pressure. His ult is not off cooldown, and he couldn't even use it if it was on cooldown, or off of cooldown, because he doesn't have the mana. So anyway, just little things like that. Alright, let's look back at top lane. Riven has a ton of gold. Let's see what Feroza picks up. He has gone ahead and finished the Black Cleaver, and we'll see, I would maybe an upgraded form of boots. Nope, getting the Chain Vest in order to help him lane against Vi. So that is a very nice buy for Feroza. He just got a lot stronger there with the finished Cleaver, and finally with some armor. He really didn't have too much armor before, but now over 100. Now it will be very difficult for Vi to trade effectively with Riven until Vi goes back and buys. Vi only has, sitting on about 1,000 gold, but could buy something. Anyway, in mid lane, we get another kill. Looks like we could use a Fiddlesticks ult right there. Again, one of the problems for the Revived Teleport Karthus is he can't escape from anything because he doesn't have flash. So if Fiddlesticks jumps on him, there's really no way to escape with a Fiddlesticks ult and then the Fear duration. Yeah, Fiddlesticks Fear. Fiddlesticks Fear 2 Terror, that 3-second Fear, is pretty devastating. Whereas here on his Q, Terrify, yeah, 3-second Fear. By the way, the Fiddlesticks Fear can interrupt a Karthus ult because it's a channeled ability, and Fear will interrupt any channeled ability. Meanwhile, in top lane, all of this zoning has really added up over time. Note that Riven is about 100 minion kills ahead, and that really does add up. Anytime Vi tries to go in, there's the stun, there's the shield on Feroza from his, what is it? His Key Burst is his stun. I don't know the names of all these abilities, sorry. Valor is the shield, Key Burst is the stun, Broken Wings is the dash in. Anyway, we do have an ult coming in right here. They are going to use Karthus Teleport along with Nocturne Ultimate, and they're going to be able to pick up a kill on Ezreal that way. They've been using Karthus Teleport and Nocturne Ult together very well in this game. Now, they did pay a price for that. Fiddlesticks did manage to take mid-tower, but they were going to have to give up this dragon. So that's a nice play for them, knowing that the dragon was up, knowing that the dragon was spawning, and then going and making a play in bottom lane. So we have to give them that dragon. Still, we were able to get out of there with only one death, and we were able to get mid-tower, and it looks like top tower is about to fall as well. So we came out from that whole process pretty well. Note that Feroza letting the tower eat 1 or 2 last minions before it goes down. Taric letting everybody know about how gems are truly outrageous. We were harassing back and forth, but Lulu is going to win a harass war against Taric. Meanwhile, Feroza is still pressuring that top lane. He's pushed Dave B all the way back to the second tower, and we've got a lot of just overall map pressure on their team in this top lane, just because Riven is so much stronger than Vi right now. The only place where we don't have too much pressure is in mid, and even in mid, Fiddlesticks does have 5 kills. He's just way, way, way behind in farm. He's still 80 minion kills behind, but he's not as far behind as he was before. He's still only 2,000 gold behind Karthus. So at this point in time, Karthus is the major focus for our team on blue side. We're most worried about dealing with Karthus, who again now has finished his upgraded Archangel Staff. What is it? Seraph's Embrace. Has that ability to shield himself. Based off of how much mana he has. So Karthus, 400 ability power, that's quite a lot. Looks like he's going for Void Staff next. In the meantime, there's a fight going on down here in bottom lane. Graves is getting poked pretty badly here. Now we just need to see if we can finish him off. There's the Lulu ult coming out onto Ezreal, and Lulu ult plus shield, and oh, that's very low on Ezreal right there, but he will survive with 20 HP. Lulu shield and Lulu ult just barely enough. Varus Nox was also life-stealing off of his... He was also life-stealing right at the end in order to be able to survive those Karthus, that Karthus ultimate, but just barely managed to survive and come out on top. We're trying to get this bottom tower, which is very low, only 116 health. But as it is, we're going to have to back off. Still, we did manage to get everybody out of there. Is Fiddles going to be able to dodge his way out of this? Yes, does manage to escape that particular lay waste. Uh-oh, Lulu in trouble. Managed to get out of here. There is the Glitter Lance. Had to hit on that, but did manage to slow. Meanwhile, Vi has gone ahead and picked up a Sunfire Cape. I don't know too much about Vi, but I'm not sure that is necessarily the best item. I just, it feels like it's not a good item to rush on her. I could be totally wrong. Could be totally wrong, so maybe someone will post in the comments that Sunfire Cape Vi is actually really good. But I feel like there might be better ways to build her than that. Could be wrong. Anyway, we'll see. Varus Nox did say in chat that the lifesteal is what allowed him to live. Anyway, here comes the Fiddlesticks ult, jumping over the wall right there. There is the Fear proc, and is he going to use Zanya's again? No, really should have used Zanya's Hourglass in there once again. Here comes another Nocturne ult onto Ezreal right there. Going to use the Whimsy once again on Lulu, and Graves is much too far forward here. Now Nocturne going to charge in. There's the Fear proc. Taric in the area. Can Nocturne manage, or Nocturne, I keep saying that. Can Hecarim manage to chase this down? I'm not sure. Nope, not going to, but does force the flash out of Nocturne. So a lot of good action coming around here on the map. Just the one suggestion for Emilio, if you're going to rush the Zanya's Hourglass early on, then really should probably use the Zanya's Hourglass. I think that Emilio could have lived in that last fight if he had used his Zanya's Hourglass right after he went in. He could have dodged a lot of Karthus' damage that way. Note that Revive and Teleport are both about to come off cooldown for Fallen Asylum's Karthus, so expect to see more zombie Karthus in the immediate future when he has use of those summoners yet again. Anyway, as far as the whole Karthus thing goes, if you play Zombie Karthus with Revive Teleport, you will get a lot of kills. At the same time, you're also going to die a lot. So thus the 9-5-2. Fallen Asylum has a ton of kills, and he also has quite a few deaths. He's not leading the team in deaths, but he does have quite a few of them, because he's going to die in every single fight with no ability to flash and no way to escape. In terms of the overall game, blue team definitely is ahead, but it's not so much of a lead that the red team can't come back. It's a little over a 5,000 gold lead right now, 7 kills. The biggest advantage is in the towers, because blue team has 3 towers down, red team doesn't have any towers down. Let's see, are any of them low? No, none of them are really that low either. Right now, Fiddle's going in after Taric. A very aggressive jump in. He actually used Flash and ult. Not sure that that's worth it to go after the support. So that was a bit of a waste of a long cooldown ability. The Fiddlestick's Flash is really crucial to set up his ultimate. So wouldn't say that that was the best usage of Flash and ultimate right there. Taric was able to escape, and even if we had gotten the kill, Taric is just the support. He's not the most important one to target on their team anyway. So worked. I mean, no harm, no foul. Didn't lose anything, but didn't really gain anything either. Once again, in top lane, Riven has now finished the Guardian Angel. Another really nice item for Riven. It makes her all around tankier, gives her more, more armor, more magic resist, and of course allows her to come back to life in a fight. So a good choice in itemization as well. Again, not involved with mana in any way, shape, or form. Meanwhile, the red team is pushing on mid tower right now. Want to try to hold this tower. Unfortunately, Hecarim's taking a lot of harassment. In fact, he is going to get Karthus ulted, so I'm going to need to use Lulu ult in order to keep him alive, but that mid tower is going to go down nonetheless. Ezreal is not in mid, and we probably do need Ezreal to come over here in order to try and hold this particular tower. Riven was pushing top, Ezreal was pushing bottom. Ezreal is going to steal the blue, which is a nice play, and their team has backed off from pushing the mid tower. Anyway, their team saw Ezreal bot, so red team is actually going to go and make a play for Baron, but what they don't know is that there's a ward in this brush right here, and they actually walked right over this ward, so that gives our team vision. Again, they have the pink, they assume that we have no vision of them, but we had the ward here, so they don't know. Anyway, let's keep an eye on this. Baron is getting quite low. We need to go in. Where is that Fiddlestick's ult? But oh no, Fiddlestick's ult is on cooldown because he used it against Taric. Red team is going to take the Baron, but there's going to be a big-time team fight coming in after this, and their team, having taken so much Baron damage, is not going to come out on top of that right now. Ezreal still not taking any damage. Karthus, Revive, and Teleport, so Karthus coming back into the fight once again with his Home Guard boots and his Revive and Teleport. Lulu, I'm going to use the Exhaust on Karthus, and that's going to get us out of here just barely. Guardian Angel will trigger onto Riven right there, but will stay alive in the fight. And so we actually end up going 5 for 2 in that fight, although they did take Baron, but they lost Baron on everyone other than Vi. So overall, I'd say that was a pretty even exchange. They did get the gold from killing Baron, but they also suffered 5 deaths, and that handed us a lot of gold back again. So it comes down to really, can we get something out of the time while they're dead? Look at all these bodies laying here. All these bodies around the Baron pit. Can we get something out of the time while every single person is dead in that particular fight? We're going to get some damage on mid, and then we're going to rotate down here and try to pick up this dragon as well. If we can get, if we could get mid tower and dragon, we would definitely come out ahead in that exchange. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get mid tower. Only got about 1,000 damage on it. But with 5 kills in that fight, and also the dragon, I would say that blue team did come out ahead despite red team getting the Baron, just because with the Baron buff being cleared off of everyone on their team, they're not going to be able to do very much with it. Fiddlesticks in a little bit of trouble, but Emilio is going to run out of there, run his way out of danger on the little scarecrow legs. Let's go ahead and look again at some of the items that are coming out. Riven right now has picked up the Last Whisper as well, attack damage and armor penetration. Last Whisper is crucial on Riven because all of her damage is physical. Highlight it, not the health potion. So this is a very solid Riven build here. Bloodthirster, Black Cleaver, Last Whisper, Guardian Angel, and the Merc Treads, a good choice against the amount of magic damage that Karthus is doing. Anyway, red team is pushing on mid, though. Here comes Fiddlesticks with the ult. A nice Taric stun to lock him in place, and there is finally a good use of Zanya's Hourglass. We hadn't seen it coming out too much. Going to use the Lulu ult onto Fiddlesticks. A little bit misplaced because he was probably already out of the fight, and the Lulu ult is actually already out by the time that the Karthus ult hits. However, we do get a good Hecarim initiation right there. Charges into their back line. That's going to allow Riven to pick up more kills. That's actually a triple kill for Riven right now. And now can Riven chase this down on the Vi, continuing to slow right there. There's the polymorph and the slow from Lulu. And that's going to be a quadra kill for Feroza in this game. And the ace right there. So even if the Fiddlesticks ult maybe wasn't timed as well as it could have been, we were able to get a nice Hecarim ult that feared almost the entirety of the red team. And then Feroza just manned up and charged in as Riven, doing work right there with all of that damage, 329 attack damage, and that's scaling off of pretty much all of the abilities. Broken Wings, can see the scaling on that. Key Burst, there's the scaling on that. All of Riven's abilities have AD scaling. And then the shield, note that he gets an extra 300 health, or whatever it's called, on the shield as a result of getting all that attack damage. How to throw 101, give Riven quadra kill, then lose base. Well, I wouldn't say throw because the blue team has been ahead pretty much the entirety of the game. Nevertheless, that last fight was not a good fight for the red team, and I just feel like they should not have been charging, pushing this tower when their team was already behind. They were about 5,000 to 6,000 gold behind before that fight even started, which means that they probably should not have been in such an aggressive posture. Again, when you're fighting under the other team's tower, you're very far from your own towers, which means that if a fight goes badly, you are a long way away from getting back to safety. And we saw what happened there. Riven chased everybody down. First the triple kill, and then went ahead and cleaned up Vi for the quadra kill. Now up to 13-4 on the game, and sitting on even more gold in the bank. Almost 15,000 gold earned during the game, and about 2,000 gold still in the bank. So can still upgrade and buy something else. We'll see what that is. Could get more tanky, get more tankiness, could buy something like a Warmogs for more tankiness, could buy something like a Frozen Heart for cooldown reduction and extra armor. A lot of different ways you could go with that last item. Could opt to deal more damage, could even get a second Bloodthirster, could get more armor penetration off of something. A lot of options to build that last item. But the 4 items here, 5 if you count Merc Treads, are all very, very solid choices for Riven. Meanwhile, on the other side for Vi has pretty much gone a tank build, has gone for the Sunfire Cape and for the Frozen Mallet. That offers a lot of health, but doesn't really offer much in the way of damage. And in order for Vi to deal her job, I feel like she needs to deal more damage than this in a fight. Vi's job is to dash onto one of the carries on the other team, using her ultimate, Assault and Battery, dash onto one of the carries on the other team, and then blow them up. We just missed out on them doing blue buff there. So if Vi doesn't really do any damage, if she's just a tank, then she's not really going to be that useful. And in fact, that's kind of a problem with itemization on the enemy team. If you notice, Nocturne has also built basically straight tank on their team. Nocturne also has Warmogs, Aegis, and Wriggle. So two of the people that they need to be their damage dealers, Nocturne and Vi, are both pretty much straight tank, or very close to it. They just don't have much in the way of damage. And that means there's really just Karthus and Graves that are at all a concern. And meanwhile, Graves is 1-7 on the game, so it's pretty much just Karthus that blue team needs to worry about. And in this game, that was making things a lot easier for us, just because their team just really didn't have the damage they needed. Again, Nocturne and Vi can both dash onto a carry and try to kill them. That sort of, both of them have that job, but if they don't deal any damage, then they're just not the threat that they need to be. Alright, so mid lane, tower, and inhib are down. Top lane is pushing on its own. So what we can do is siege up here in the bottom lane and just rely on poke. Varus Nox's Ezreal is poking away with Mystic Shots and also poking away with his Static Shiv. My job as Lulu is to just watch Ezreal and keep him alive when people dive onto him. Meanwhile, though, we're going to get a nice Fiddlesticks ult over the wall for the initiation. Then Hecarim charges in as well. Note that Ezreal is not being DPS'd at all in this fight, is being completely left alone. Meanwhile, continuing to chase after Graves, but guess what? Karthus is coming back into the fight. He's going to TP behind this battle, come in from behind right here. And using that revive teleport combo, Graves and Tark are going to make their way back into the fountain. Karthus is again trying to get the kill, but another stun from Riven. There is the Lulu ult onto Ezreal. And will this finish anyone off? No, shield's too strong. Guardian Angel's still not popped onto Riven. So even though that's only that actually is a 4 for 2, because Karthus died twice in that fight. Died initially, used revive teleport, came back in once again. Still a good fight for our team, even though we did lose 2 champions. A good job by Fiddlesticks to go in. Once again, though, Fiddlesticks, man, if you're going to buy your Zanya's Hourglass, you got to use the Zanya's Hourglass. Once again, I feel like Fiddlesticks probably would have survived that fight if he had used his Zanya's in the middle of the battle, but did not do so once again. Anyway, with their team forced to defend their base, it's time to come over here and pick up the Baron. And there's just not a whole lot that enemy team can do. That is going to be a pickup for blue team. And does everybody get that? I think that, yes, everybody did revive in time to get that Baron buff. So at this point, with a 12k gold lead, it's just a matter of grouping up, using the Baron, and pushing over the last couple towers, pushing over the top and bottom towers as a group. That inhib is also respawning. Let's see what item Riven chose to pick up. Actually chose to pick up something I would not expect, and this is not a core item in the Riven build. The Sword of the Divine gives extra attack speed, unique active, pop it to gain 100% attack speed and 100% critical strike chance for 3 seconds, or 3 critical strikes. Kind of a weird item choice. I'm not sure I really would go with this item. It may be the case that Feroza just had enough gold sitting around to pick up that item. Maybe not. Actually is going back to base. Is probably going to double pot and get ready for this last push into the base. Let's see. Gonna get elixirs here, or what's the deal? Why did Feroza go back to base while we're pushing? Yes, there's the elixir. Okay, double elixir and oracle. Yes, okay. So I don't really recommend the Sword of the Divine. I would recommend something else, but perhaps just for the 6th item, wanted something to mess around with. Elsewhere, we have, let's see, the Fiddlesticks has a lot of AP stuff. This is pretty much the standard item build on Graves, Bloodthirster, Frozen Gauntlet, or Iceborne Gauntlet, excuse me, along with a Last Whisper. And the Quicksilver Sash for CC. The Static Shiv I usually don't see too much on Ezreal, but it does add more poke. So it's useful for the poking build. Right now, there is an open inhib, so our team wants to focus on going for that. It's a very good wall coming in from Karthus, but here Fiddlesticks is going to get the initiation once again, going to deal a lot of damage. Feroza picks up another kill onto Taric. Here comes out the Karthus ultimate. It's not going to pick anybody up right now. We are tower diving, but once again, there is the Lulu ult onto Riven. Riven still does have Guardian Angel as well. Polymorph onto Nocturne as he tries to go in. Now Taric is the sole survivor, unfortunately. There's the slow from Ezreal on the Iceborne Gauntlet. That's going to be an ace. Again, their team simply too far behind now that our team has so much more gold. 20 kills ahead, 15k gold ahead, and also with the Baron buff. Not going to be enough to turn this one around. So we will finish off the base and wrap up a very entertaining game. It was quite close for about the first 20 minutes. After that, slowly began to snowball towards the blue side of things. But in the end, were able to ace the team and come out on top. I thought this was an interesting game in part because of the revived teleport Karthus being played by Fallen Asylum. Led to 11 kills, but also 11 deaths. So high risk, high reward. A lot of exciting plays coming out. And I also enjoyed this game just to see the matchup between Riven and Vi in top lane. I think that the Riven build was stronger overall. I also think that it was also clear that Feroza got ahead early and was able to snowball the lane effectively. In the end, ended up 16-8, so had quite a nice game there. Ended up with almost 18,000 global gold, or not global gold, 18,000 individual champion gold at the end there. So a nice example of how to play Riven overall, and a good introduction to Vi for people who haven't seen much of her. She is a pretty solid champion in her own right. People just need to get more of a chance to learn her and see how to play her, because I have seen her be played quite effectively in some matches. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, Happy New Year everybody, and see you again throughout the year in 2013. Take care.